All right, I am live, and yeah, this is a paid request for Alan Stanley, and uh, it says that's funny. It says there's no one watching, but it says there's two people, Richard and Alan Stanley. Oh, now it went to three. And yeah, I figure this isn't going to get a lot of views, but this is a paid request from Alan Stanley, who wanted me to do a live commentary of Seven. So I figure I would wait a few minutes, make sure Alan Stanley is here, say hi to anyone who stops by in the chat. And yeah, the anniversary for this film was just a couple days ago, I believe, because it came out September 1995. And of course, that was September 2025, so 30 years ago. That's crazy. But if anyone that's in the chat, feel free to say hi. I have the film queued up from when we start. I have the subtitles on because it'll be better for me to watch it that way, so I could concentrate on the chat and stuff. Hey there, Alan. How you doing, man? I mean, this is for you, so I guess we could get started when you're ready. Hey there, Mark. But yeah, this was a paid request from Alan Stanley. He wanted me to do a live commentary on this film. So I guess, Alan, we'll get started when you're ready. Just want to make sure on my settings here for the live. I just want to make sure on certain stuff. All right. Oh, you never seen Seven? That's definitely worth a look. Hobble One, what does it have to do with anything? I mean, you mentioned that in a comment. Hobble One, what does tarantulas have to do with anything at all? Hey, I saw this fat chick at Domino's. What does this have to do with anything? I mean, hey, there's a caterpillar walking down the street at Arby's. Okay, what does that have to do with Seven or anything in between Hobble One? Maybe someone can explain it to me. So, Alan Stanley, are you in here? It says 15 people in the chat, but not many people are talking. I've been about 5 years since I watched it last. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, it's been a bit since I've seen this film. Still a good one, very solid one. Hey there, Filminator, I'm doing well. How are you doing? It's a sequel called 11. Well, it's funny, there was talks of a sequel called 8, but it was quickly shot down. But for about 5 minutes, there was a sequel floated around with Morgan Freeman called 8, and then people realized it was a stupid idea. If you don't believe me, feel free to look it up. Now, of course, this is the film that David Fincher did after Alien 3, which was a whole fuck up on all ifs, ands, and buts about it. But yeah, I am paused at where the New Line is starting to go to the screen. So if you know the film, the New Line Cinema logo, it's just starting to, at first starting, as we're going to go to the center of the screen. And then I'll also mention for syncing when the New Line Cinema logo goes away. Oh yeah, a lot of dumb ideas. But you know what? We did get started. Uh, Again, this is a request for Alan Stanley. You watch on the 4K, very cool. You have to let me know how it is. So I am paused at the beginning. I will count down. Again, I'll count down 3, 2, 1, press play. And it'll be when the New Line Cinema is starting to appear and going towards the screen. And then I'll also, throughout it, say when the New Line Cinema leaves to start, with the syncing. So, hey there, Preminator. Hey there, Alex. Yes, I'm enjoying the game. That's cool, Kyle. But yeah, I'm pause at the beginning. Let's count down. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. So the New Line Cinema logo is appearing. Of course, symbol I watched a lot as a kid, opening the Ninja Turtle movies, among others. New Line Cinema is about ready to disappear now. And then the first shot is Morgan Freeman getting ready for the next day. Love the way the film is shot. I love the color scheme of the movie. That dark, gritty flavor, but not using an ugly assortment of filters, but just doing it with lighting and cinematography. It gives a great dark ambiance to everything. Now, I know that for the Brad Pitt role, Sylvester Stallone was up for it. Also, Denzel Washington was up for it, but it eventually went to Brad Pitt because the others said no. They said no. And then, funny enough, they did similar films after this because Stallone then did ICU, which was trying to be a darker serial killer movie, and Denzel did Fallen, which was supernatural, but it was a serial killer movie. So it's funny. Denzel and Stallone said no to this, and then later they realized they fucked up, and then they did serial killer movies afterward. Hey there, Sean. But yeah, Morgan Freeman, great actor, from Driving Miss Daisy to Glory to The Shawshank Redemption, as a character that's ready to retire. And then we have Brad Pitt, the newbie. Around this time, he had been in films like Thelma and Louise and Legends of the Fall, California with a K with David Duchovny from The X-Files, which had been on at this point because that came out in 93. It has that rainy look to it. And I'm just watching this on the stream, and it looks good here. I could imagine the 4K looks wonderful. But hey there, Chaz. Oh, I'm sure a lot of things were inspired after this film. Gwyneth Paltrow did fine. I mean, she didn't have a whole lot to do, but she did fine. But yeah, Millennium with Lance Henriksen definitely got inspired by this movie. There was also a Christopher Lambert film called Resurrection, where the killer was taking body parts to recreate the body of Jesus Christ for Easter. Christopher Lambert, who was Lord Raiden in Mortal Kombat in the 90s movie, which came out the same year as this 95 Mortal Kombat. But he was in it, and Leland Orser played his partner, who's in this film as the guy who was forced to fuck someone with the knife dildo thing. So, yes, Stallone turned down 7, and he regretted it. More than likely, that's why he said yes to that film ICU. But here we're about ready to get into the opening credits with a version of the Nine Inch Nails song "Closer." I always remember the trailer starting off. One of the things starting off with when Morgan Freeman hits that dial and it goes back and forth because it was on the VHS for, I want to say, In the Mouth of Madness, John Carpenter film, because I had the trailer for this one and The Mangler. So I always remember watching that movie a lot on VHS, In the Mouth of Madness, and seeing the trailers. And these titles, people rip these titles off for a lot of movies afterward that wanted these type of titles. And yeah, if you listen closely, it is the Nine Inch Nails Closer, a different version of it. I love ICU. Um, Actually, overseas a few years ago, there was another cut of the film released that's a longer cut that I think is a better cut, and I did a fan cut of the film, and I think that's a better cut. But I do like ICU because you got Sylvester Stallone, you got Tom Berenger, you got Robert Patrick, T-1000 from Terminator 2, you got Charles S. Dutton from Alien 3. That's cool, Predator. Thank you. But I love the way this is edited because it shows you the diaries of John Doe, and it just gives you into the. You just send them both if you want, Predator, and we could set out the time. But it gets into the mind of the serial killer. But yeah, a lot of movies were inspired by this opening sequence with the way it's edited. And then you had a lot of serial killers around this era. You had Copycat with Sigourney Weaver, a lot of those type of films. Yeah, True Detective, I'm sure was inspired by this, which I've only seen the first season with Matthew McConaughey. Do like that season. I'm sure these flashes probably inspired the film Saw, at least the way these flashes are. And from what I understand, Ned Beatty, who was in Deliverance, he was up for the serial killer that Kevin Spacey played, but he's like, nah, that's just too much for me. And Kevin Spacey, I mean, he did a good job, to be fair. I mean, he fit the part, but he did do a good job for what little you see of him. But yeah, great lighting and shadow, and it just has the whole movie have this somber feel to it. That the whole city is dangerous from the get-go. CD, I'm doing okay. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, Brad Pitt at this point, he had done some films like Legends of the Fall. In the Interview with a Vampire was the hit film he was in. The best opening credits ever. It's good. I don't know. I mean, the best opening credits ever. I don't know. Zombieland is a good opening credit scene. I don't know, I have to think about it. Yeah, Chaz, I mentioned Resurrection. Maybe you weren't here. I mentioned about 5 minutes ago Resurrection. But yeah, David Fincher had such a bad time with Alien 3, and then this comes about, and I'm actually surprised they gave him the money to do this because of the tone. I know the studio really wanted them to change the ending, but Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and David Fincher put their foot down and said, no, the ending stays. And there were other endings they wanted to do. For example, one ending they wanted to do was Morgan Freeman shoot Kevin Spacey so that at least Brad Pitt's career wouldn't be over. I mean, his character. Um, or that Gwyneth Paltrow's character would just be kidnapped and they'd go rescue her, but they wanted the ending that they got. Premiere, don't really want to talk about it, man. I'll put it that way. Yeah, this was a request for Alan Stanley sent in a paid request for this. And again, the anniversary was then on the 22nd of this month. But the cinematography is definitely like Peter Hyams when he would do cinematography where it's very, very dark, which fits with the atmosphere. Yeah, I'm usually a guy that's for happy endings. Well, in more ways than one. But it does fit this movie well. It's not a happy-go-lucky movie I watch all the time, but it does fit this movie well. I don't think every movie needs that, but it hit the right spot with this one. I think with just the build up, the way it's filmed, the way it's acted. If you don't want to do it, you have to do it very well, and this did that. And then you have the dead body here, which I believe the effects were done by Rob Bottin's group. Because Rob Bottin, who worked on John Carpenter's The Thing, on other stuff. But yeah, Rob Bottin. It's the idea the surprise wasn't done earlier. A killer killing people via the 7 deadly sins. It seems natural for a serial killer movie, but yet this is the only time it's been done. It looks really clear on 4K. Well, good. Understandable. A lot of this reminds me of X-Files with the flashlights and stuff. But yeah, very grisly, depressing crime scenes. But it sits with you. And just imagine you have to be, fed over and over and over again until you pretty much explode. Just look at the chat real quick. Looks really clear on 4K. Felt like Clerks 3 was trying so desperately to have an Oscar moment. Well, it failed. Kevin Spacey did a great job. Yeah. Saw in 1996 with My Last Serious Girlfriend. Have no idea what Gary Blow is talking about. I always go back and watch this movie over time. Still think it holds up. I don't know if this is true, but I think early on it started raining. And then because it rained so incessantly, they kind of kept that a regular motif. It would be raining all the time. I could be wrong, but I think that they just kind of went along with the flow, but it worked well for the movie. What did Kevin Spacey do? He fucked underage kids in the ass. That's what he did. That's a cool movie TV show. Great stuff by Rob Bottin's group. Just the aftermath of these. And a bit of male nudity. There you go for the women out there. With the gay men. There you go. You have your enjoyment. All the stuff they got out of it. And this is where really was a bit more of a homicide. But again, great makeup effects. And I believe Rob Bottin, his group had a hand in. It's not really talked about enough. I guess because they don't focus on it so much like John Carpenter's The Thing and such would. Oh, I worked on Fight Club as well? Okay. Of course, we have Arlie Ermy here, who most people will know from Full Metal Jacket, which he was not the original choice for that. I think they hired another guy, but wasn't working out, so they got Arlie Ermy for Full Metal Jacket. And then would be in the 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre film and its prequel. He had a TV show called Mail Call, which I never saw. I think was that the History Channel it was on? But Arlie Ermy, it's funny. I mean, if he had a mustache, he looks like J. Jonah Jameson. You know what? If he had a mustache right here, he could be J. Jonah Jameson. He really could. No, Premier, I did not know that. Hey there, Dins. Uh, In the Mouth of Madness 4K, that's cool. I won't be getting it anytime soon. I already bought some stuff and I'm saving my money. Like Brad Pitt in 12 Monkeys, California, which was gross. What was gross about California? Meet Joe Blatt sucks. It was boring as shit and like 3 hours long. I mean, when it comes to Brad Pitt, I could say I like World War Z. I like Ad Astra. I like this film. I like Fight Club. Bullet Train was fun. Tim Colseri was supposed to be the drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket, but he was still in the film as the door gunner. Gotcha. Yep, I do remember him and Willard as the boss. And here we got Shaft himself, I believe, Richard Roundtree. Yeah, we're here, Richard Roundtree, which I was always surprised. I mean, it's cool that he's here, but it's like, oh shit, it's Richard Roundtree. Just randomly here's Shaft. But it's cool that he's in there. I wonder what the story was behind that, if there is a story. Or it's just like, hey, I just want Richard Roundtree. Maybe just audition, that's it. But yeah, in 1995, you had an assortment of films like Bad Boys, among other movies. So Congo, I believe, was 95. Sure, Premiere, sure. Casino was 95. Virtuosity was 95. I think Assassins with Stallone was 95. Yeah, I don't mind the film Species. Yeah, that was 95. And of course, I should mention the writer of this film, Andrew Kevin Walker. He would go on to write films like 8 Millimeter, which I don't think he was happy with that. I think he wanted that film to be even darker than it was, but it wasn't the case. So yeah, I don't think he was the. I like 8 Millimeter. I think that's a good film, but yeah, I don't think he was the most happy with the result of that. So yeah, before this, Andrew Kevin Walker helped write Brainstand with Edward Furlong. Then after this, he did 8 Millimeter, Sleepy Hollow. Worked a bit on The Wolf Man, which that didn't really pan out. I think the David Fincher film The Killer. It says here in 1986, Andrew Kevin Walker moved from Pennsylvania to New York and described it as a big culture shock. He was a sales assistant for Tower Records in 1991 and began writing a spec script for Seven. Unnamed, bleak and gloomy city that was inspired by his depressing time in New York. And yeah, it went throughout the years because that was in 1986. Yeah, pretty much after Alien 3, Fincher didn't want to make any more movies. His agent gave him the script. Then he got into the revelation of John Doe's plan and said, "We got something here." And Michael DeLuca, who was the president of New Line Cinema, they both liked the original script. Other people fought against the tone and changed the ending, but it won out. Apparently, Robert Duvall, Gene Hackman, and Al Pacino rejected the Morgan Freeman role. But Morgan Freeman did a great job. It was one of my favorite roles from him. Location filming took place in downtown LA. Fincher wanted to film in Oakland, California. Rain often fell during filming. Fincher decided to film in rain to avoid continuity errors. And then Brad Pitt was only available for a certain amount of time before he had to go do the film 12 Monkeys. So primary, I'm still understanding the film. What does it matter if I had headphones on or not? I have the subtitles on. I know what's going on in the film. I've seen the film more than once. I don't know why that's a big deal for you, dude. I mean, Morgan Freeman's made a good point why they can't listen to him. I don't know. For some reason, Hobble once mentioned Laser Blast. I don't know what Laser Blast has to do with the movie. What the fuck Laser Blast has to do with this fucking film? I don't know. Just Hobble One just says whatever the fuck he wants. Let her bring up tarantulas. Says there are no tarantulas in this movie. Hobble One, I don't give a fuck about Laser Blast. This is a shitty movie that has nothing to do with the conversation we're having right now. It's a shitty fucking sci-fi film that has nothing to do with this fucking movie. This is actually a good movie. I love the aesthetic of all the green on the lights here. There's a nice aura to it. Yeah, very good choice of having all those lights be green. Just gives it that eerie look to it. That low lighting. Now that guy there, I know I've seen him before. That guy who turns on the music. I know I've seen him before. And I gotta look this up because it's gonna bother me. Because I'm like, I know I've seen that guy before. So bear with me, because it's gonna be like some guy who's like, I gotta look at the whole cast on IMDb. Does have an 8.6 on IMDb. And I gotta look at the cast here. It's gonna bother me because I know that guy. Ah, there you go. Hawthorne James. He was Sam the bus driver in Speed. Yep, you got it. That's who I was thinking of. Yep. No one, I knew I recognized him. Man, you're good. You are good, Chaz. Yes, Hawthorne James, the guy who turned on the music for Morgan Freeman, was the bus driver in Speed before he got wounded. So, man, you're on your game, Chaz. Oh, hey there, Genghis Khan. Yeah, I just wanted something different for the thumbnail. Make it more unique. I could just put the poster of 7, but I just wanted something a little bit more different. So I'm trying to understand the motive of the serial killer. Which, I mean, there's a lot of interesting stories about serial killers out there. So, I mean, you can never run out of material if you want to make a movie based on a killer. Like the one on the female Mexican wrestler. The other day I heard about that. I mean, what? That's strange. But yeah, very strange. Lady of the Silence or whatever her name was. Pretty much in Mexico, this woman was a wrestler and then she would pretend to be a nurse, go to old people's places, break in, steal their stuff, kill them. And I think she was convicted of killing about 16 or so. She probably killed more, but she was also a wrestler in Mexico. Had the mask on and everything in wrestling matches. Was it Juana Barraza or something like that? Many articles say it's a thriller, but at the same time, well, I mean, yeah, a lot of companies wanted to call these films thriller because they felt horror didn't equal box office. They thought if a film was labeled horror, then it was quote lowbrow. So that's why they call it a psychological thriller or a suspense thriller or a suspense film, whether it be Sounds of the Lambs, whether it be this film, whether it be other films of that nature. Then you had a lot of those early 90s thrillers. You had The Hand That Rots the Cradle. You had Pacific Heights. You had a lot of those type of films. But I mean, this, you could call it horror. I think that would fit well enough. Yeah, I like The First Power. That came out in 1990. Lou Diamond Phillips. Before this, always liked The First Power. A Perfect Murder, don't give a shit about that film. Thought it was a dumb film. Not interesting at all. Brad Pitt's character has a bit of gusto, but he's a little bit of an idiot too. He's definitely not up to snuff with Morgan Freeman's IQ. Oh, hey there, DV. Is this David Fincher's best film? My favorite of his is The Game. That's actually my favorite film of his. I always liked The Game. I thought that was the story, Michael Douglas's performance, the revelation, that I like the most. So The Game is my favorite David Fincher film. But this is up there. This, Panic Room, Fight Club. What Was Born About Perfect Murder? Everything. The Game is great. Love Panic Room. Yeah. Yeah, The Game is a very good one. I don't give a shit about Benjamin Button. I really don't. New Halloween film, no Halloween game, don't really care about it. Man, back to the days when you had old school typewriters. Nowadays it'd all be done with a laptop, but you had to write it down by hand or use a typewriter. How many in here have actually used a typewriter? Or is everyone too young to ever use a typewriter? I have used a typewriter back in the day. Pain in the ass because you make one mistake. You might as well just do the whole damn thing over again. It was so annoying using a typewriter. I don't know how the hell people wrote. You have to be very specific. You can go back and try to fix it, but it's such a pain in the ass. You use a typewriter at some point. Gabriel, I don't know what you mean. I think Fight Club's a really good movie. Good story, wonderful visuals. I think that's a good film. The Game is my favorite of his. Probably The Game, then maybe Seven, then Fight Club, and then Panic Room. If I had to rank them. Of course, us didn't know a little bit about Gwyneth Paltrow's character before what happens to her at the end of the film. Yeah, I've tried playing the game on Fight Club. I could not get into it at all. It's just a really bad fighting game. Hey there, Sabian. I mean, it's definitely not a film that is supposed to be full of you action and gore and stuff. It's not that kind of movie. But you just get into the characters and the mystery of the killer. Maybe a bit like True Detective and such later on. I mean, I guess you would call it a slow burn, sure, but I guess. Doing well, Freddie Lit. How you doing? And just watching Seven. It was a paid request from Alan Stanley because the anniversary was around the 22nd of this month. And just been talking about the film, about who originally was going to be starring in the film, the atmosphere, story, all that stuff. Try to have a little bit of lighthearted affair amongst all the darkness within the themes of the film. I would say it would have been cool to see another film with the character that Morgan Freeman plays. I'm assuming that's probably why, well, that because this film was a hit, why there was talks of a sequel, but eh. I used to be honest, you just watch Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider if you want to see Morgan Freeman in similar type of movies like this, which I don't mind either film. Along Came a Spider, Morgan Freeman definitely more of the star of that film compared to Kiss the Girls. Yeah, Freddie Lit, I mentioned that you weren't in here. Near the beginning of the stream, I mentioned Resurrection. I mean, Gabriel, I don't know what your big issue with Fight Club is. I think it's a pretty solid film. Terminator, I've uploaded like 10 parts of Spider-Man 2, so yeah, I've tested the PS5 if I have like 10 parts of Spider-Man 2 up. I guess you haven't checked the channel. Oh well. You would have seen I've had like, how many parts of Spider-Man 2 do I have up by now? In the past couple days? Like 7 parts? 8 parts? Yeah. You missed all 8 parts. Okay. No problem. Nah, it says PS5 in the title, but it's all good. But yeah, I always enjoyed Resurrection and some of the other serial killer films that came out after this. But I think, the whole Seven Deadly Sins is such a simple but interesting idea. Again, it's surprising no one tried to do that sooner. But yeah, in a weird way, it makes sense to have as the focus of a serial killer movie. But yeah, it's cool premiere. It's fine. It's Black Cat. I don't know. I just, you look at the picture, you see that it looks like Black Cat. Yeah, I vaguely remember the Bone Collector. But yeah, like I said, Denzel and Stallone uh, was up for the Brad Pitt role, and they both said no. So more likely that's why Denzel did Fallen, and probably films like The Bone Collector as well, and Stallone did ICU, because they probably regret saying no to this movie. No, they're probably Alan Stanley. You sent in the paid request. It's the least I could do. So thank you, man. Thank you, Alan Stanley. I appreciate it. Thank you for your kindness. Hey there, Mr. D Man. Well, if I want to watch Fallen with that concept, I'll just watch the first Power. So here, then I asked, is there anything that looks weird, out of place in the picture, and that's where they're going to find a big clue. The painting. Genghis Khan, neither. How about neither? Why does that have to be a choice? How about neither film? But I like the look in a bit where you use the UV light to find the lettering on the wall. No, nothing to be sorry about Genghis Khan. It's just they both suck. Like both movies suck. Both of the movies are bad. So why would I pick one over the other? DV, I'm saying both movies suck. The early days of CSI. The early days of chicken fingerprints. Be a completely new ball game today. Nah, I did not know there were 7 comic books. That's interesting. Oh, thank you, Freddie Lit. I like 7, but for Brad Pitt movies, I like 12 Monkeys a bit more. I think these are his best, in my opinion. That's cool. Um, I mean, for me, World War Z, Bullet Train, uh, Ad Astra, this film, I would say, are Brad Pitt's best movies. Same with Fight Club. But I say those are my picks for my favorite Brad Pitt films. 12 Monkeys is what it is. I don't love it like other people do, though. I never really care to rewatch the film. The comic books are from the point of view of the killer in 7. Huh, that's interesting. Well, I mean, I guess, why just redo the movie? At least you're doing it from a different perspective, so it gives incentive to buy it and check it out at least. So I can appreciate that. Instead of just copying the movie. That does look like a comfy couch. I like that couch. Give me that couch. I think I could sleep on that couch. Not another. I don't know why asking me just a random question when I'm doing a commentary on 7. Now, this guy on the right here is John C. McGinley, who's been in a lot of stuff. The guy right behind Arlie Ermy. I mean, John C. McGinley on the right here, he was in Dick Carter with Sylvester Stallone, and they had a little bit of a fight in an elevator. He was in Highlander 2. He's been in a lot of stuff. I think he was in On Deadly Ground. He's been in a ton of movies, John C. McGinley. I think he was on that TV show Scrubs. Tons of stuff. I forgot he was even in this movie. Yeah, Platoon, right? Platoon. That's true. Another good film. But how serendipitous that it started raining, that they kept that as a motif throughout the movie, because it becomes a new character. It becomes a unique character that every scene is rain, because you didn't see that in a lot of movies back then. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying not as often. But a lot of stuff try to copy this afterward. Yeah, I've never seen the TV show Scrubs. I've seen clips, but never a full episode. Yeah, the city has a new set of a character. Yeah, yeah. The Crow. I do see a little bit of that, perhaps. Yeah. So here we go. The SWAT guys going in formation. I believe all they're one finds another dead body. I want to say this is the one where it's like the guy looks like a skeleton and he's still alive. I want to say it's that one. If so, that's definitely, I would say, the most effective one. If it's the one I'm thinking of, as in the creepiest. I'm not sure that we're there yet, though. I want to say it could be. Movie, TV show, and Mr. D Man, the best way to do it is ignore and don't bring the people up. So stop bringing it up, please. Movie, TV show, stop bringing it up in my chat. And Mr. D Man, just don't bring stuff like that up. It's supposed to be talking about the movie and stuff. That's what the commentary is for. Ah, yep, here it is. Very, I mean, from what I understand, they just hired like a very thin dude and then put some makeup on him, which makes it very effective by Rob Bottin and his group. To me, it's definitely the creepiest uh, murder crime scene, especially that the guy's not dead yet. Very effective effects, makeup effects. Yeah, I believe it's Rob Bottin and his group did the effects for this and Fight Club. Wolfram #1. I haven't seen the film. Ice Cube for life. Hi there. I just want to let you know I have not forgotten your requests. I've just been super busy with other people's, but I have them written down. So I apologize for the wait, but thank you, man. I still have them written down, but hope you're doing well, man. Thank you. But I have not forgotten it. Just been busy with a lot of requests and life and such. But thank you, man. He's laughing at us. Yep, there he is. Still alive. No matter. Just certainly looks like pretty much Ally McBeal. So here they're carting off Ally McBeal into the hospital for Harrison Ford. They don't meet her. I didn't really notice my shaky camera in this. And if it happens, it's very brief. It's not all the time. General, yeah, I vaguely remember that, yeah. I believe that's supposed to be John Doe right here. That's supposed to be Kevin Spacey, who took the picture and is going down the stairs. So yeah, that's Kevin Spacey as John Doe. Technically his first appearance. Frozen Uncle Bill. Okay. But yeah, Rob Bottin did do the makeup effects on this and Fight Club. Yeah, the ending definitely intense. Which again, the studios wanted to change, but Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, and David Fincher won out. And yes, I know the cat's meowing. It can never shut him up because he always wants to be outside at night, even though there's stuff that would eat him. So I can't do anything to shut him up. So just how it is. General, I reviewed Fincher's The Killer. It was boring as shit movie. Fucking horrible film. Nothing happens for majority of the film. He waits for a kill. He fucks up the kill. He does three things. The movie's over. That movie fucking sucked. The review is on the channel. It's a piece of shit fucking movie. Around here, there's coyotes. There's well, I mean, if you run far enough away, there's you know gators. Because a mile away, there's been gators seen in ponds and stuff. So there's that. There's all sorts of coyotes, and there's other wild animals. Well, I mean, if a possum or a raccoon is that hungry, they'll, if not eat them, then at least kill them. He's a smaller one. So quite a bit around here. Yeah, Andrew Kevin Walker wrote this film, wrote Brainstem before it, and 8mm after this. And sorry that I run out of stuff to say, guys. It's just the movie kind of speaks for itself. So, I don't really know what to say about the film, honestly. So once I just looked at the chat. And then I first heard about this film from VHS of In the Mouth of Madness because they had the trailer for this film and the Mangler on it. Then I saw this on VHS tape, New Line Cinema tape. Robert Redford, All the President's Men, favorite one. Chris, here we're finding out that she's pregnant, which she doesn't tell Brad Pitt. And he doesn't find out till it's a bit too late. At the end, the endings the studio wanted was that she just got kidnapped and they go rescue her, or that if you have the stuff happen, have Morgan Freeman kill the killer instead of Brad Pitt, so that Morgan Freeman takes the fall and not Brad Pitt's character. But they went with what they had. No, this is the movie he did right after Alien 3. Just that came out in 92. They started filming this in 94. Well, I think The Mangler's a good one. I don't see what people's budge up their ass about the film is. The Mangler is fun. It's different. It's unique. Mangler's a good one. Martin Freeman is just one of those actors that just has one of those voices that could make anything he says believable. Yeah, we talked about The Game earlier. That's my favorite Fincher film. The Rap Metal Hero, doing well. How are you doing? I mean, there's whole not a lot to talk about here. It's just a conversation between Gwyneth Paltrow and Morgan Freeman. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot to really speak of with this scene. 3 down, 4 to go. I am 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 8 seconds in. Well, that's funny, Hobble one. I was 20 yards away from Lee Harvey Oswald when JFK got shot. I've been there too. God, those old school computers from back in the day with the fat backs and all that. I don't remember The Social Network that David Fincher did. To be honest, the story never interested me. I just like Brad Pitt's insults about the whole thing. I'm sure he loves the fat backs, all the backs. But it's interesting to see all the, just from 30 years, the differences in technology. Like, for example, you won't see any cell phones on this. Lay's potato chips. No, wait a minute. See some more quick. Sorry, I'm just looking something up real quick. Yes, the Social Network is the Facebook movie. So I just looked at something up real quick. Yeah, that's why I thought the guy who they were just talking to, who had the money under the table, he was in Batman Begins. I know he looked familiar as Detective Flass. So he was like the dirty cop in Batman Begins. He was also in John Carpenter's Vampires. I think he was one of the hunters that got killed. I think he was the one that the vampire ripped in half when he opened the door. I think that was him who was in that diner that got the money or from under the table. Yeah, definitely some people that you recognize, like John C. McGinley, the Sam the bus driver, again, Richard Roundtree, the that guy. Well, Alan, I agree with you with style, but Fincher would never make that film because that story would not interest him. So yeah, this guy here, this guy was in Batman Begins. He was also in John Carpenter's Vampires. He was the hunter that got ripped in half by the vampire. Thomasine Griffith, and when he opened the door. But yeah, Alan, I know you're a big fan of Manhunt. I like those two games as well, but he would never do that film because he would think the story was beneath him. Because if it's a simple story, a lot of directors don't like simple stories. Yeah, Leland Orser appears later. He was the guy that fucked the person with the knife dildo. No, Rob Zombie would be god awful in a Manhunt movie because he did one. It's called 31. That's the thing. He did a Manhunt movie. It's called 31, and it was a piece of shit. Oh, this is when they get shot at because he comes around the hallway and they get shot at right here. And there's going to be a bit of a foot chase. Yep, right here. He was not expecting that. Come on, why are you taking so long to run after him? till like a good 30 seconds before you start running after him. I think you don't want to do it right away, so it takes he's around the corner, but yeah, Rob Zombie would be horrible at it. But I know they wanted to, him and Brad Pitt and David Fincher wanted to do a sequel to World War Z together, but then that project fell through. And I guess now they're doing that Cliff Booth movie based on his character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We'll see what the plot is. If the plot's worth a shit, then maybe they could be good. We'll see, though. No, all of Rob Zombie's movies suck. He's not made a good film. Trying to recognize what cartoon they're watching. Went by too quick, couldn't tell. Fuck Devil's Rejects. Fuck that movie. A bit of a lengthy foot chase. Bit lengthy there. Zodiac too long. Got some decent parts to it, but just way too long. Way too dragged out. Come on, Morgan Freeman, you gotta pick up the pace here. Come on now. I know you're old, but you gotta pick up the pace, man. Yeah, definitely some nice shots here. Jamro, I barely remember that film. Definitely a lot of nice looking shots here. And again, the rain is definitely a nice addition. Because is where the kill is really going to screw with him because he could have killed him, but he doesn't, and that's definitely going to mess with his psyche. That wouldn't be part of his plan. Well, it was filmed in California. I don't remember what city it was supposed to take place in. He was complaining back in '89 in Glory about the physical work. He can't pick up the pace. Yeah. And I believe it's probably here where he gets the idea to use him for his final act. Because now he's going to find out who this guy is, find out he's got a wife, and use that against him, which is my reasoning as to why he does not kill this guy now, because he's going to have the idea to use him later, which he does, and he wins. So now he's like going to find out anything he can about this guy. What's in the box ahead? It's an easy question. Just I think you can even find online there's a shot that wasn't used that you see your head. A prop head was made for the film but not used. Gary Blow, what the hell are you even talking about? What does that have to do with whatever we're talking about? What the hell are you talking about? I love that some people just say the most random shit for some reason. Brad Pitt does a good job. I think it's definitely my top 5 favorite movies of his. How about Gary Blow? How about Don't Be Random? Because it just seems weird. Chilla aspirin. Goddamn. No, Gary, I'm just asking, why are you saying just random stupid shit? Just out of the blue. That has nothing to do with the commentary, nothing to do with the film. It's like someone just randomly go, I like turtles. Okay, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? I ate spaghetti. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? Well, make a pun that involves the fucking movie then or something. Random stupid shit. Wild Bill's Leather. No, I don't think Michael Biehn was ever offered a role for Seven. No. I've never heard he was offered a role in Seven. Gary, I don't even know who the fuck Big Pun is. I never heard the rapper. I don't know what the fuck he has to do with Seven. How about you just leave then? Get the fuck out of here. Apparently, I have nothing to contribute to the conversation. Jesus Christ. You talk about some random rapper I've never heard of called Big Pun. Who gives a fuck about Big Pun? Did he have anything to do with the movie? No. Does he have anything to do with the film? No. Did I know who he was? No. Do I give a fucking shit? No. I don't give a flying fuck about Pit Pun. Jesus, who gives a fuck? Next time we'll be talking about Carrot Top all of a sudden. Hey, you see Carrot Top, chairman of the board? And next, someone be talking about, I don't know, Ross Perot. Let's talk about Ross Perot. Okay, guys, let's talk about Ross Perot. Let's talk about something fucking random. What's your thoughts on Ross Perot? What's everybody's thoughts on Ross Perot? Go ahead. It's fine, Gary. I'm just wondering, like, just completely random. He's talking about butter sausages. I mean, that's the least of his problems. But yeah, so many environments, just really nice set dressing to really show the grisly, just the grittiness of everything. Very nice set design, like the red light bulb we saw earlier in there. Yeah, give me that money. I'll take that money. Could Kurt Russell work in Seven? No, because I think you had to have someone that's a bit naive. I think Brad Pitt, in a way, envelops that because with Kurt Russell, it's weird to say I could buy Brad Pitt losing at the end of the day to the serial killer, but Kurt Russell, I'd be like, oh no, he's got to win. I don't know. I know it sounds weird, but that's just my thoughts on it. After yelling at David Fincher for trying to have Hits be killed by a chest burster without his permission, I doubt Fincher would ask Michael Biehn to be in this movie. Exactly. I don't think they've ever talked since. I think Michael Biehn kind of regrets that because, he didn't know who was to know that David Fincher would be the David Fincher. Baylan 3 still sucks. So. That's cool, Gary. Yeah, Pitt and Freeman are good. Let's see who's in the chat. I think Preminator left. But we got Civil Wings, movie TV show, Jammerall, Alan Stanley. I know DV was in the chat. No, we got 43 minutes left. The movie's not pretty much. We got 43 minutes left of the movie. I don't know who Michael Biehn would play. I don't know. I mean, we still got them to interrogate Leland Orser's character. And all the other stuff. I don't know why them talking to this guy reminds me of bits you would see in 8mm when Nicolas Cage had to talk to Joaquin Phoenix. And if people wonder why sometimes I yell about stuff like that, it's because this is a paid request for Alan Stanley. I want to keep it with the topic of Seven, not all these like weird random stuff. If someone wants to send a super chat and talk about something random, feel free, but just kind of centering on the film. No problem, Jeremy. Have a good night. No problem, Tim. It may be a while before I get to it, but just check the channel daily. Again, maybe a while before I get to it, but I upload every day. So since notifications don't get sent out because YouTube is broken that way, for anyone out there, just check the channel daily. I'll have something up every day. So thank you, Tim. Here's Leland Orser. Given probably one of the most intense performances I've ever seen. Pretty much from the get-go hyperventilating. And Leland Orser, like I said, would be in Resurrection with Christopher Lambert, where he'd be on the other side, being one of the two cops looking into this mystery. The other being Christopher Lambert. But yeah, Resurrection's a pretty good one. Of course, Leland Orser would also be in Alien Resurrection. He was in Taken. Yeah, What's Inside of Me? What's it fuck inside of me? Not a bad death scene. I mean, that's the thing. You didn't really see. No, he was not the wheelchair guy. He was the guy with the chest burster in him. With the glasses. But yeah, movies at that time, you didn't see a lot of them tackle these type of dark subject matters. I mean, at least to this extent. Like using a knife to fuck someone and stuff. Yeah, movie TV show. I said that earlier. I don't know if you were in here. I said he was like we saw him earlier in the film. I'm like, oh, that's Shaft. Is Richard Roundtree. He's like the I don't know, the mayor, whatever he's talking to the TV cameras. And Brad Pitt sees him on the two TVs during like the second crime scene. Maybe you weren't in here at the time. I guess in a way, it's kind of Morgan Freeman's character trying to push Brad Pitt out of this lifestyle, just knowing if he's in this lifestyle long enough, it's going to drag your soul a bit further and a bit more depressing, probably like how his is. Because, I mean, the one bit of hope, I guess, at the end of the film is that he doesn't retire and he's going to keep fighting the fight. Which I think that was added in late, and I don't think they really liked it, but it's kind of a compromise. So what was it? The world is a good place and worth fighting for. And I agree with the second part. Something like that. I think it's the line. And I think that was added later as like some to have something. I don't think Morgan Freeman was that gun ho about it, but I do remember liking the line. Sad that David Fincher seems to have lost his touch. Like well, I mean, a lot of directors have, not just him. You just say that for a lot of directors. Rufus, I'm doing okay. Hope you're doing well. I know it's not shown in the movie, dearie. Never said it was shown in the movie, but they did make it. They made a prop. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought that was going to come more into play. Him throwing that knife, like at some point, he throws that knife at something or somebody because he's pretty good shot with that knife. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought that was going to come into. No, Derry. Like they made the head. Is not shown though. I never said it was shown. Yeah, I mean it's better. Yeah, they don't show it because less is more. Your mind will think of the details more than what they could have shown. That's not always the case. That's not always what they need to do. But I think in this case, it worked fine that they didn't show it. I do like the detail of the glistening on the taxi cab as if the shine of rain is still on there. And this is where you first really get to see Kevin Spacey as he gives himself up. Detective. And that's the thing, is they didn't catch him. He gave himself up. So more than likely, that blood is Gwyneth Paltrow's blood. And that's what you think about in retrospect. That blood he has on is Gwyneth Paltrow's blood. Because that would have been the last person he killed. Put her head in the box. It's one of those things you think of after the fact. It is a depressing movie. Is that, a happy-go-lucky movie? I mean, he gave himself up. They didn't catch him. He killed a woman and her baby. She was pregnant. And the guy pretty much loses his career, and I don't know whether this and Brad Pitt's teared through the jail or maybe, temporary insanity, however they do it. I don't know. He wins. I mean, so it's as depressing as you can get. Why not, J-Ro? Why not? Qualified immunity? Hmm. Well, I mean, that's probably true, but I mean, his headspace is definitely fucked. He lost his wife and baby are dead. And there's Richard Roundtree. Movie TV show was asked about Richard Roundtree. There he is in the scene. He's right there on the right, sitting in the chair. There's Richard Roundtree, Shaft. We saw him earlier in the film, so this is his second appearance. Been a while since we've seen Arlie Ermey's character too. Of course, to that person, J-Ro Korea, maybe ever thought that, his name is Rambo Raff, so for fun, let me have the thumbnail be Rambo Stallone and Raph Ninja Turtle. Because I could just put the thumbnail as 7, but I want to do something different. But, I guess I should just have the thumbnail typical like everybody else does. Yeah, I've seen the Batman. I liked the film. I think the film's too long, but I liked it. I have a review of it on the channel. Then I think it's too long of a movie, but I like the Batman. I don't think I've seen you on here before, but nice to meet you. But I guess if you haven't seen my channel, you'd be confused. So I don't know if this popped up randomly, but that's why the thumbnail is there, because I like those two people. It's part of my username, so to just have fun with the thumbnail, that's why it's that way. Because I could just put the thumbnail of 7, but it'd just be typical thumbnail. So do something different, unique, stand out. Make people go, huh? Which was the point. Have fun. Raphael's people, of course. He's a dream people. Considering some of the people I've seen with plastic surgery, Raphael is more of a person than some of these fucking people. I mean, Raphael looks more of a normal person than some of these fucking people with 18 plastic surgeries. Yeah, Dan's in that too. I mean, considering some of the people I've seen in the past 2 weeks, yeah, Raphael is more of a person than some of these fucking people. I'll put it at that. I don't feel bad about saying that. People think some shit's funny when it's not. People dying is so funny. Yeah, sure it is. If it's your family, we'll see if people are laughing, dickhead. Anyway. No, I did not like Mutant Mayhem. It was a piece of shit. I do like the dialogue here between Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey. I think there's some good back and forth. You're a movie of the week. You did a bit semblance of his motive, but not the whole thing. And I mean, he has limited screen time, but he really for the limited screen time, he does a pretty good job. Movie, TV show, I appreciate, but I can answer the questions. You don't have to answer for me. All right, movie, TV show, I appreciate, but I can answer the questions on my own. But thank you. You don't have to do it for me. I appreciate, but I can answer my own questions. But thank you, though. No, we still have 23 minutes, General. Yeah, it's the car ride scene, yeah. Hey, official Vaughn, hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I mean, Kim Spacey fits. I mean, what you find out in the film The Usual Suspects, here, yeah, it works well. Definitely one of his better roles. especially for how limited of a screen time he has with it. I don't know why somebody's interesting that Morgan Freeman does not have a whole lot of dialogue with Kevin Spacey. I get it because we're going to find out this connection with Brad Pitt and Kevin Spacey and what he did to Brad Pitt's woman. But we have a little bit here. It's like Kevin Spacey knows he can't bullshit Morgan Freeman's character. I just get that from the look on his face. Like Morgan Freeman's maybe like the first guy to say something that made some pause for a bit. That's why part of me kind of wish we could have seen more of that Morgan Freeman versus Kevin Spacey, but I wouldn't know how you'd even fit more into the film. It's already over 2 hours long. I used to talk about the victims he's done in, saying what you want to say they're innocent. Oh, mine was I forget which son it was. The skeleton guy. Was it was it Sloth? I think it was Sloth. The one that was like the Ally McBeal, the skeleton. I'm guessing worst as in most disgusting, most crazy. I would say that one is I thought the most effective. That the most ghastly one because the guy was still alive at least for a bit, and really good effects by Rob Bottin's crew. Yeah, sorry, I'm not saying that. It's just pretty lengthy car ride conversation. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about because they carry the scene. Plus, I'm not some kind of scholar that tries to look in depth into every fucking scene. I'm not one of these audio commentary historians that just ramble about some pointless junk that no one gives a fuck about. Nice aerial shots here from the helicopter point of view. And there's John C. McGinley once again. Of course, John C. McGinley, he was in Platoon, Highlander 2, On Deadly Ground. I think he was in Bulletproof. No, Nothing to Lose. Nothing to Lose with Martin Lawrence and Tim Robbins. Been a lot of stuff. Yes, that would be double homicide because you're killing her and you killed the baby. So, hey there, Lucas. We got about 14 minutes left of 7, which was a request from Alan Stanley. Kevin Spacey's getting out of the car, is about ready to find the, well, I guess the twist of the movie. Which, of course, I mean, this is leading to something. And it's weird, like in retrospect, kind of made sense as this was leading up to. Because it makes you wonder, like, before people knew, what other ideas could they have thought of that the reason to lead them out here in the middle of nowhere. No, they probably say at the very least it was some type of temporary insanity for Brad Pitt's character. So he wouldn't have his job anymore. He'd probably be some kind of psychological evaluation. I think people would take pity on him because you just found out your wife and baby were dead. And I know he said, I don't want to take you out to find the bodies, but there's more to it than that. Yeah, it's a good one in 95. It's a good one. Definitely a good one. Nice shots to really show the landscape there, that they really are in the middle of nowhere. Oh yeah, I know, Lucas. Trust me, I've been trying. But yeah, 1995, biggest films, Die with a Vengeance would be my favorite of 95. You also had GoldenEye, Apollo 13, Batman Forever, Casper, Jumanji. Then Die with a Vengeance would be my favorite of 95. But I like Bad Boys, the film that is. I like Jumanji. I like GoldenEye. Species I like. Well, a lot of films in '95 I like. I remember having the twist spoiled for me, but still affected when I watched it. Huh. So, Little Zane #1, how was it spoiled? Do you remember? Did a friend tell you? Did a family member tell you? Was 95? I should say, when did you even see the film? Was it when something online and you saw the film later? I don't know, General. So, of course, we don't see the head, but we get the idea. Would watch videos on movies, and this would always pop up on the list. Well, yeah, that's how it goes. Well, I mean, after a certain amount of years, there's just nothing you can do. It is what it is. Um, they probably were thinking of showing the head, but they realized you didn't really need it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the package is fragile. That's the famous. What's in the box? Come on, what's in the box? I think about 2 hours in, if you watch closely, you'll see quick flashes of Gwyneth Paltrow's face. I think right before he shoots Kevin Spacey, you see little quick flashes of Gwyneth Paltrow's face. And again, one idea for the ending was that Morgan Freeman would go shoot him because that would disrupt his plan. And since he was going to retire anyway, he's like, I'm not going to let you ruin your life. I'll do it my own. So, how would you guys felt if Morgan Freeman shot and killed Kevin Spacey and ruined his plan? I mean, you still have the rest of the ending. Yeah, Brad Pitt does a good job in this piece. Sounds fine to me. Well, there you go. So that was an idea for an ending. I think at one point they had it where when Brad Pitt shoots him, then it just cuts, and then you go to the end credits. I don't know. It depends, Dins, on if you what dialogue you write from. Yeah, this is where you don't see the flashes of Gwyneth Paltrow. I think it's about it was around here. I think it's when he looks down and looks up one more time. Yep, there you go. I think one cut of the film right here where Brad Pitt's kind of looking around, it would just cut and then credits, and uh, you know they definitely didn't like that, so they added at least a little bit more. Which I do like this last line. Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." Well, I agree with the second part. Yeah, but don't think the ending would still be effective even if Morgan Freeman killed the killer? Like Gwyneth Paltrow would still be dead. You still have the what's in the box scene. But yeah, I do like that last line. Because I agree. The world is a fine place worth fighting for. I agree with only the second part. Very nice scene here. Like very good cinematography on the cityscape. Not the landscape, I should say. Well, no, Dens. I would say just that Ernest Hemingway line. The world is a fine place and worth fighting for, and I agree with the second part. I do agree with the second part. I wouldn't be as impactful. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I could see that. Also interesting that the it's going backwards with the title sequence going backwards. Also, Jamra or whoever said, I don't know what you mean. There is no after credits scene. So Jamra, I don't know why you said there is no post credits scene. Because he didn't have a retirement house anyway, so I don't know what post credits scene you're talking about. This doesn't have one. Well, there you go. That is it's a deleted scene. Well, it's not in this. So that's the movie Seven. Still a good movie. Still holds up. Beautiful looking cinematography. Solid acting all around by Morgan Freeman, Brad Pitt, Kevin Spacey. Appearances by people like Richard Roundtree, John C. McGinley, Gwyneth Paltrow. Definitely some creepy makeup effects by Rob Bottin's company. Definitely a grim, depressive aura to the film. You should definitely see the film, movie, TV show. Definitely see the movie. Should have been watching with us. But yeah, Arlie Ermy, he was good for what little he had to do. And yeah, thanks to Alan Stanley for the request. Yeah, he's in the stream, Lucas. He's in the stream. So, very cool indeed. No, thank you, Alan. I appreciate the kindness. Sorry about some of the putting my foot down on some people earlier, but I'm trying to concentrate on the movie itself because someone requested it, and then people are just talking about random stuff. But yeah. But yeah, I guess that's it. It's 9:12. But hey, Bobby, you just got in at the end when you just got in the end when I've just been done with the commentary. Oh, thanks, Lil Zane. Even after, well, I mean, these will all be uh, archived, so you can always rewatch it if you want. Same with all the other live streams and videos and such. Yeah, I will probably head out because I will be back here tomorrow for Friday Night Lives, where me, Uncle Bill, and Stuntman Mark will be talking about what each of us think are the 5 worst films of the 1990s. So I will stream here on this channel, and they'll also stream on their channel. But you guys can come here. Lucas, do I prefer live commentaries? Are fine because at least if I don't have anything to say, I could talk to the chat. Because at least if I run out of stuff to say, I could talk to the chat and talk with you guys and then go back to the film, and you guys will come up with ideas related to the film or the year or something and help with the conversation. Well, Jamal, you have to watch. But take care. We will see you guys later. And bye-bye for now. Later.